Under consideration, a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens. As Elon said, a word called caring. You have to care.
Well, yesterday it was just an idea. It was just a thought thrown out there by a CEO, James Fishback, of an investment company, to Elon Musk. Elon Musk, hey, sounds like a good idea. Elon Musk says he'll talk to the president about it. Well, the press talked to the president about it, and the President Trump said, well, sounds like a good idea. Let's see what we can do. Last time President Trump said anything about stimulus checks, well, we got not just one, but two, right? American people ended up getting some checks. So what's happening with this one? We're going to show you right now the facts and the data on this, so please like, subscribe, and let's go into it. And just to let you know, this has been plastered all over media sites. This is not misinformation, disinformation. This is out there. This is actually something that legitimately is looking like it is going to happen in one way or another, and we're going to explain that in a second. Forbes comes out and says, will you get the Doge dividend via a $5,000 stimulus check? Axios came out a couple hours later with the same news. So remember, this is saved funds. This is money that's already been claimed into the Treasury. This is money that's already gone out. They're pulling it back, so the money is there. So they would just need a couple votes in order to get this out to you. So let's go into what James Fishback said. He is the one who snowballed this into the great big event that it's become. So let's go ahead and go over the documentation that he provided in order to kind of get this thing rolling and set this thing out. So James Fish tweeted out to Elon Musk, President Trump and Elon Musk should announce a Doge dividend. So it's a tax refund check sent to every taxpayer funded exclusively with a portion of the total savings delivered by Doge. And he literally lined it up and said, here's how this can be done. Let's go over that for a second, because this is very interesting and very important, and it makes sense. So here's what he said. Here's how President Trump's Doge dividend works. Doge is targeting $2 trillion in total savings. That's a lot of money. Take 20% of Doge total savings, $400 billion, and return it to the 79 million households that would be net payers of federal income in 2025 as tax refund check called the Doge dividend. So he's saying that there are 79 million U.S. households, but there's actually 112. It's over 110 million households. So a lot of people are being excluded from this, and it's those people who do not pay federal taxes, the lower income people who just don't pay federal taxes. So they're saying, we're going to give it back to the people who paid into it, not to the people who didn't. Now, I don't know about that. Maybe they could figure that one out and work that out. The money might go down a little bit for those that did pay a little bit, but it would go to all Americans. Let me know what you think about that. Number 3 says $400 billion in Doge-driven savings divided by 79 million tax-paying households equals $5,000 in Doge dividends checks per paying household. So there, he's done the math for us, and it's all there. So only the people that paid federal income tax in 2025 would receive the money. And I don't know if that would be this is just his idea. It's not total written in stone yet. So let me know what you guys think down there, because I think how the people respond to this is what's going to end up happening. Now, here's a very interesting part, because a lot of the politicians are saying, no, this will be inflationary and we don't need more inflation. But here's how Fishback has already responded to that, because he knew that question would come, and it would come soon. He says, no, it wouldn't be inflationary for these two important reasons. One, he says the Doge dividend checks are exclusively funded with Doge-driven savings, unlike the COVID stimulus checks, which were deficit financed, right? So instead of being taking the money and making our deficit go up, the money's already there. We're not making our deficit go up. So that's one good aspect of it. Number 2, Doge dividend checks are sent only to tax-paying householders who have a demonstrated propensity to save, not spend the incremental dollar received. So that's once again saying it's only going to the federal taxpayers. I don't know if he's right or wrong about that. Let me know what you think. It still sounds a little bit inflationary to me, where people are just getting money and spending it. But let me know what you think. I'm just giving you the raw material on this. And he goes on to explain that the Doge dividend is different from the past stimulus checks in 2021 American Rescue Plan because only tax-paying households receive it. Tax-paying households are more likely to save, not spend, a transfer payment like a Doge dividend, as consumption is a lower share of their income. So after this was received on Twitter, on X, that's when Elon Musk responded back to him with a we'll check with the president. So he checks with the president, and the president comes out and has this to say.
And there's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt, which is, if you look at value, if it were a real estate balance sheet, the debt is tiny, but we still want to pay it down. Doesn't matter. We don't look at it as a piece of real estate. It's America. We're going to get it down through intelligence, hard work, and as Elon said, a word called caring. You have to care. By doing this, Americans will tell us where there's waste. They'll be reporting it themselves. They participate in the process of saving money. So many of the men and women in this room, as an example, they pay tremendous amounts of taxes.
So here we are now with Doge supposing to save $2 trillion, and that's how they get to the $5,000 per household stimulus checks. Now, the numbers don't actually line up 100% with that. It's $2 trillion. They're saying it's $2 trillion, but however, it's a little bit less than that, maybe a lot less. So on the government's website, it says Doge has saved $55 billion as of now through the combination of fraud detection, deletion, contract lease cancellations, contract lease renegotiations, asset sales, grant cancellations, workforce reductions, programmatic changes, and regulatory savings. So that figure that they showed on the website is $55 billion. I don't know if they're estimating or whatever, but it came out with a new figure of about $8.6 billion in savings. It's a big difference. $8.6 billion in savings is much lower. So the Doge stimulus or Doge dividend would be a much lower check right now if they were to go with the actual numbers and not what they had proposed on the website. So Doge isn't perfect. It has some flaws in it. And Elon Musk even says Doge isn't perfect. It's got some flaws and kinks that we're trying to work out. And sometimes numbers like this are really big kinks. So the hopium that Americans would be getting would be a little more hopium than is actually that could actually happen. So in one instance, Doge had reported an $8 billion savings when the contract had actually been an $8 million contract. $8 billion compared to $8 million, that's an 8,000 time difference in what the numbers actually were. So because 8,000 million is 8 billion. So things need to, the numbers got to add up, or this $5,000 just isn't really going to happen. Now you can go to the Doge website and find the wall of receipts. They give you all of their information and what they've found as of the day, and they're finding things like that. Like, it's incredible. So I don't think that it's going to happen the way that Doge is putting it. I don't think the numbers are that big. I am not a newbie here. I've been helping people with this. My channel was 2 years, directly 2 years, focusing on stimulus checks, PPP, EIDL, and things like that for small businesses and just plain American people like yourselves. So I know exactly what's going on here. I know what I'm talking about. And do I think this is going to happen? I do. I do think it's going to happen. Do I think it's going to be this year? I think it could be by tax season next year. At the earliest next year, tax season, it would not be before 2026. I do think that by 2027, there may be a chunk of change in there where they could distribute this accordingly and maybe serve a purpose for that. I don't think it would be an every month thing, which would be great if it was, if everybody from the savings of Doge were getting checks. But then again, that would be inflationary. So I do think it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen as big and as quick as the $5,000 coming to every American household by the end of next year. But there are a few reasons that could eliminate this, can stop this from happening. And one is that, of course, it would need to be approved by Congress. Now, Congress has a slim majority of Republicans, very slim. And we do know that there are some fiscal hawks in the Republican Party that are totally for just, no, don't give any money away. But the Democrats would be all no votes. And all the Republicans would not, I don't believe, all of them would side on doing this for the American people, unless the pressure of the American people was once again, like it was back in the COVID days, pushing for this hard. Or, because politicians back then were like, dude, if we don't do this, we don't stand a chance for re-election. So that's just my thought on that. But I do believe that the Senate would get the votes. I'm not sure about the Congress getting the votes. And this is a big chunk of change. It would have to go through Congress and the Senate in order to happen. So would that happen as fast as 1 year? I don't know if they could get it done 1 year. By the year two, or maybe even by, the next election day, as it were last time, where everybody was saying, okay, we need to push the stimulus check through. We want to give people money, so that we didn't vote against that right before an election, because that would be really bad. However, we're right at the beginning of an election where Trump was just inaugurated. And so I don't see it as such a push for maybe before midterms of 2026. So maybe another year we could see it, maybe after this year, but next year. But those are just my thoughts. Once again, I have a little bit of an idea about what we're talking about here, and I would like to get your predictions and your input down below on how this is going to be playing out and what you think is going to happen, because we do get your comments here and we do listen to them, and a lot of times the people out there who comment are more correct than we are. As most people don't like to admit, well, we can admit it, we're human. And I also would like to point out that what Trump is doing right now in the office is totally whacked compared to what most politicians have done. I mean, breaking news yesterday, the IRS started laying off 6,000 employees. Like now, that was yesterday. They're gone now. 6,000 employees, and Trump is saying we're going to lay off another 9,000 IRS employees. Totally different than anything we've ever seen. And even in the Social Security Administration, there was a gentleman that was fired for bringing out the fraud and the embezzlement that was going on behind the scenes, and he was fired in the Social Security Administration. However, Trump and Elon Musk went and rehired him, fired the guy that fired him, and made him the acting manager of that department. So things are different. So it's something like we've never seen before. So how this is going to play out, I mean, is totally up to the people and the popular opinion out there and, the majority. It seems like that's the way things are working out right now. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is about the wrap. That is the 100 that we know on this stimulus check, the $5,000 Doge stimulus that we know about right now. We'll call it a dividend, call it what you want, but it looks like it could happen. And I want to thank you all for watching. So please like, subscribe, and click that notification button, so when we get information out, you can get information. And we are all humbled to have you as part now of our One Love family. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.